The world of cycling is one of the most viewed sports in the world, with big races such as the Giro d'Italia, Paris-Roubaix, the Vuelta a España, and the crown jewel of the Tour de France. And as a result of it being viewed by hundreds of millions of people every year, there is a lucrative salary attached to the best performers who captures the most TV time in the biggest races. But one thing that we will see is that this list of salaries does not necessarily correlate to that of the UCI rankings if we compare it to the 2024 one. Becoming a professional cycling is hard, with many hours of dedication to your training, nutrition, and gaining key results in key races, and takes many years in the making. The result of this hardship in terms of financial gain for the riders is interesting. Specifically, an amount of 44,150 euros is the minimum salary for 2025 for World Tour riders, except for Neopros, where the figure is a bit lower at a base of 35,721, which is far lower than the minimum salaries of other sports comparatively. The teams don't widely publish their salaries on a regular basis and can come in drips and drabs and a bit of hearsay. With many achievements happening in 2025, there are plenty of top riders extending their contracts to benefit from the increased performance. So in today's video, we're going to look at the top 10 earners for the 2025-2026 seasons. Some riders that might just have been bumped off this list this year looks to be Carlos Rodriguez and Egan Bernal at 2.5 million euros, and equally Adam Yates at around 2.7 million euros. And we will also see that there is no John Milan, the green jersey winner of this year at the Tour, or Florian Lipovic, who finished third this year and is out of contract, so maybe for next year he will be part of the top 10. Nevertheless, first rider on this list is Biniam Girmay, who has not had the best season in 2025, not recording a victory since the 2024 Tour. Nevertheless, 2024 was the real turning point for the Eritrean superstar, as he was able to become the first Eritrean to win a stage at the Tour, which then became 3 wins in total, and even winning the green jersey, becoming the first African to do that. But in 2025, it has not been the same fortune in wins, coming close but no cigar. And with the news of the Lotto Intermarché merger, it looks like there might even be a move happening in the works as well, with his agent looking for opportunities elsewhere, with big teams such as UAE linked to him. Biniam Girmay really burst onto the scene after his Ghent-Wevelgem victory and his Giro d'Italia win as well, and his salary that time went from reportedly 300,000 euros to 1 million euros, with the team to fend off any other riders. And he had signed a contract to 2028, but if that merger does come to place, those contracts will be annulled. Intermarché as a team doesn't have the biggest budget and is thought to have a budget around the 14 million euro mark, but had started building a team around Biniam, and he did manage to finish 9th on the UCI ranking in 2024 as well. Biniam Girmay is seen as an African Peter Sagan somewhat, as he is a fast sprinter who can climb but has a good track record in the classics despite not getting the best results this year. So we'll see if he can bounce back in 2026 or the remainder of 2025, and who he will ride for in 2026. Next on the list is the first Dane of the list, and that is Mads Pedersen, the former world champion back in 2019 in Yorkshire, the multiple winner of Ghent-Wevelgem, and the dominant force in the Giro d'Italia this year in the sprints, has been the spearhead for Lidl Trek for many years in terms of sprints and the classics, and the Dane signed a big money contract with the team, showing his loyalty to them. Pedersen has won stages in all Grand Tours as well, and in 2025 he managed to podium Tour of Flanders and Paris-Roubaix at the same time, really knocking on the door to be one of the big names in the sport, but still just on the cusp behind the likes of Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel. At home, he's also won the Tour of Denmark multiple times. He's truly a formidable rider, and for sure in his prime now, we could see real big results, and maybe he'll get that monument win in 2026. Coming in at number 8, and here Jasper Philipsen, who was arguably the fastest sprinter in the peloton in 2024, 2024. 2025, not quite the same success, crashing out at the Tour, but did wear the yellow jersey and take a stage win on stage 1. He signed a new contract as well. His current contract is believed to be close to the €3 million mark, keeping him with the team until 2028, after there was many rumors that he would be leaving the team for potentially Tour de Pro Cycling, Quickstep, or even Red Bull. Philipsen finished number 3 on the UCI ranking last year, and the big highlight being his impressive win at Milan-San Remo. He was strong in the final sprints, where he left the rivals for dust in an incredible sprint, plus another Paris-Roubaix podium. So he really is a strong sprinter and classics rider. Philipsen is a very important component of Alpecin-Deceuninck, and being a monument winner, green jersey winner, and having 10 Tour de France stages to his name really does show how highly valued he is. Coming in number 7, Tom Pidcock at €4 million. Pidcock changed quite abruptly. Ineos Grenadier is out with Q36.5 to be the big cheese in a smaller team, and in 2025 it has gone fairly well for the Yorkshireman. Pidcock is a phenomenal rider, as we know. He's achieved impressive results in his career, and plus this year winning the Saudi Tour overall and being the closest competitor to Tadej Pogačar at Strade Bianche once more. He's a very multidisciplinary rider. As we know, he won the Olympics twice in the mountain bike and has been world champion on the cyclocross scene, and we've already seen his spectacular accolades out of racing as well, with phenomenal descending with Red Bull as well. He truly is a master of the bike. He's a great rider in the classics, and in the Giro d'Italia, he was saying that he was looking more to become a GC rider, but it seems like he should focus at what he's good at: mountain biking, the classics, and poaching hilly victories. But with his multidisciplinary, he has really showed that he's been a world champion in all the different kinds of the sport offers. Next, going to one of his rivals in the cyclocross scene, and that is Wout van Aert, who brings in around the similar figure of €4 million. Wout has been an incredible rider for the Dutch outfit of Visma Lease Bike in the last few years. Big results, winning Milan-San Remo and Strade Bianche in 2020, plus success at the Tour de France, both as a leader and as a teammate, stage victories, and even the green jersey in 2022, and being instrumental in topping Tadej Pogačar at the Tour de France in 2022 and 2023. And he had a very impressive win in the Tour in 2025 on the final stage, which was truly epic. He did take a bit of recovery early on in the season, as he had a lot of bad luck last year, crashing in Dwars of Vlaanderen, the Olympics, and the Vuelta a España, but since then he has really bounced back. But Wout van Aert is a true winner and does also receive quite a chunk of money for his cyclocross season. If we factor the appearance fees in, the Belgian would probably pick up a minimum of around 150,000 to 250,000 euros for riding around muddy fields in the winter, which is not bad. He also signed a big money contract with this Melissa bike to stay with them till the end of his career, to hold off any interest from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Next, moving to Mathieu van der Poel, who reportedly earns a similar figure, but there are a number of things that we don't know in the back room. In 2025, he showed his class again, winning Milan-San Remo and Paris-Roubaix, both times doing the unthinkable, beating Tadej Pogačar, plus he even won his second Tour de France stage and having numerous days in the yellow jersey, adding to his profile as a rider. The 7-time cyclocross world champion is one of the most popular riders, and his earnings also include lucrative sponsorships with Lamborghini, a private jet company, Swift, as well as a personal contract with Canyon that was a 10-year deal, taking it to 2034. This doesn't even include the vast cyclocross appearance fees that he has and the winnings on top of that as a world champion, and could be estimated at minimum around 400 to 500,000 a year, depending on the number of races attends. Mathieu van der Poel showed his rainbow jersey on the road as well, very well, in 2024. Since he won, what is incredible is that Mathieu van der Poel has remained with the same team his entire career and brought them to the World Tour, and is one of the forces in the sprints and the classics, a true superstar. Next on the list is another rider who extended his contract in 2024, and that is Jonas Vingegaard, the two-time Tour de France champion, earning reportedly around 5 million euros a year. Vingegaard, of course, joined the team in 2018 after being spotted from Team Call Quick, and since has evolved into arguably the best climber in the peloton apart from Pogačar, and has won a multitude of stage victories with them. But 2024 certainly was not his year, with that terrible crash in the Tour of the Basque Country, and even in 2025 with the awful crash in Paris-Nice as well. Vingegaard might not be the most flamboyant character off the bike, but on the bike he certainly is a force, and this year he showed that he was really in the fight in the Tour de France, matching Tadej Pogačar on some stages and finishing second once again, adding another podium to his immaculate record at the Tour de France. Jonas Vingegaard showed he's a dominant force in the races and can win a multitude of stage races as he's done. So he really is the spearhead for Visma Lease bike, and as a result he's the highest earner. Now coming to number 3, and that is Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe with Primož Roglič, who has apparently one more year left on his contract and did sign a very good deal in 2024 where he makes reportedly 6 million euros a year. Roglič took some finance to pry away from Jumbo-Visma as he was disgruntled after what happened at the Vuelta a España, and obviously he also had won a Giro and multiple Welters with the team. His first season with Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe was turbulent with 2 crashes in the Tour of Basque Country and the Tour de France. There were positives, however. He did win the Criterium du Dauphiné and his 4th Vuelta a España title, and in 2025 he's managed to win the Vuelta a Catalunya and also managed to finish his first Tour de France since 2020, finishing 8th overall after he sabotaged his own chances of finishing in top 5. Roglič may not have had the best 2025, but he is still considered one of the biggest names in Grand Tour racing, and he might reevaluate his choices after the arrival of the next rider on the list and the emergence of Florian Lipovic. So suddenly he's in another team where he's not the spearhead. So what will the next season with Red Bull hold for him? Should he maybe drop the goal of trying once again to win the Tour de France, or should he maybe focus or leave the team completely? Ineos Grenadiers would love a rider like him. Before we come to the top 2, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and why not check out the 2024 video of this as well. Next on the list is the double Olympic champion as well as the current time trial champion, who managed to finish 3rd in the Tour de France in his debut in 2024. Remco Evenepoel has been making big headlines for the 2026 transfer season with a blockbuster move to Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, leaving Soudal Quickstep, the team he turned pro with, and thereby ending a very long transfer saga. The hunt for Remco Evenepoel had been long-standing, with numerous approaches from various teams, Ineos Grenadiers and Red Bull. Last year, reportedly, Remco was on the brink of a high-profile move to Red Bull, with rumors swirling that the team had offered him a staggering 10 million per year, but now it seems more to be 6.6 million and 20 million euros in total after the 3 years he is on. At the time when he was first offered this, Soudal Quickstep's team boss Patrick Lefevere fought hard to retain Evenepoel, closing any financial gaps with additional backing from CEO Jürgen Fohr and ensuring that his riders' current earnings reached 5 million euros. But the picture changed in 2025 with disappointing results and maybe not the complete faith in the team anymore as Patrick Lefevere left. So that opened the door once again for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, who sealed the move, and that means that Remco Evenepoel will not only be part of one of the biggest teams but also have an avenue with Red Bull, the marketing company, but he will have to fight for leadership with Florian Lipovic and Primož Roglič. Who knows as well, this could maybe mean that there's some big Red Bull marketing events on the horizon for the Belgian, and with Dan Bigham, a former hour record holder and the man who helped Filippo Ganna beat his own hour record, maybe we could see Remco Evenepoel, the world time trial champion and Olympic time trial champion, actually go for that hour record and put it well out of sight from anyone. Who knows? We'll see, but it's definitely an interesting move. Will he be the rider for Red Bull to win the Tour de France? I'm not so sure. Now coming to number 1, and no surprise, that is the highest paid rider in the world, and that is Tadej Pogačar, who is not only a character on the bike but also one off the bike, as he does plenty of extracurricular activities in terms of charity ventures with his Tadej Pogačar Foundation. He's the face of cycling and the sport. He sealed his 4th Tour de France title in style and even crossing the 100th career mark as well with stage wins in the race. Pogačar has showed that he is able to win not only just monuments but also Grand Tours in the same time, and is able to consistently hold a very high level throughout the year. In 2025, he looked untouchable in all terrains, and his racer mentality also saw him compete at Paris-Roubaix, an unprecedented thing for a modern Tour de France winner to do, being up there with Remco Evenepoel and only just falling short. But his salary of 8 million euros a year came after signing a lucrative contract tying him to the team until 2030, after his Triple Crown, where he won the Giro, Tour and the World Championships, and reportedly with bonuses that is an even higher number. He's also showed he's able to podium on every single monument, winning Liège-Bastogne-Liège, dominating Il-Lombardia and the Tour of Flanders, but still not winning Milan-San Remo and Paris-Roubaix, but for sure that will come. As we know, he is a generational talent and said to be the most marketable rider by his agent. He has changed the sport since he was picked up by UAE Team Emirates in 2019 after he won the Tour de l'Avenir, and since that he has won over 100 career victories, podiumed every single monument as we said, and doesn't look like he's stopping. He hasn't won the Welter yet, but I'm sure that'll come. And if we break down that 8 million figure, this means that Pogačar earns 3,846 hours every single hour, almost 22,000 daily, and 666,666 euros, obviously assuming no rest week for him. Furthermore, the team has put a 2 million euro buyout clause, which eclipses the top 3 cycling teams' yearly budget. So unless Saudi Arabia fully back a team, I think it's safe to say that Pogačar won't be going anywhere. 8 million euros a year seems like a large figure, but when we think about the sacrifice and the monk living that the riders do, this is not as high comparatively to some other sports. Reportedly, Max Verstappen makes 64 million euros a year. LeBron James earns 52 million euros a year, so after 8 weeks he would earn the same as Tadej Pogačar, and Cristiano Ronaldo well over 200 million euros. So you can see the figure of Tadej Pogačar is nothing in comparison to this, and arguably the hardest sport in the world. This seems crazy. But anyways, with that, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and do check out how much the prize money for the Tour de France is as well. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you around.